We saw him the other day against Man United. He got
second place FC
because he's your team. So I think it's going to be an extra.
These videos goes against the Seneziz philosophy.
Drills now as well, and they're learning the hard way, aren't they, from Liverpool senior professionals, that they need to be slightly more ruthless. We'll talk about some of those a little bit later.
I hope we will see it from another angle.
Ghosted.
Let's see what Liverpool are doing. So they press in a 2 here, right? And these two are playing the center backs of the opposition. They're not catching it. This was also how they press against United, right? Like they pushed in a 2. And then this guy's going, is that the 6 here? So he's following the 6. They just press straight on. And now they move to the left side. And then they do the gegenpress, huh? And they immediately go for an attacking situation. Was it Nunes? Let's see how they're building. This is are they playing? Is this the winger, and then the 9, and then the 10? Is Elliot playing as a 10 here? Is it Jones giving it to Elliot, setting off to Henderson? Yeah. Milner. Yeah, okay, so it's not Nunes, right? It's Chamberlain as a winger. What was that? Oh, okay. Good save. So it's still a 4-3-3, right? Yeah, Elliot looks. Elliot was sharp last season. It'll be interesting to see. No, I don't want to see this. This is just a 5v5, right? The angling is so bad on this. It's just too much pitch side. Why don't you like Elliot, mate? So Klopp is actually a part of instructing here. Yeah, to the fullback, fed it off to the winger, and then the funny thing about this, like these things happens during Liverpool games. Fullback to the winger, the 8 goes in behind here, set it off to Firmino, boom, boom, boom. That's so nice. That would be such a nice goal if it happens in real time. My mate used to play with him at Fulham and said he has a massive ego, and when he was playing bad, he would blame other players. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds like a champion. But all of these players have massive egos, like most of them, right? But imagine like this guy's playing for Liverpool at like 19. I think it's hard not to have a big ego. But it's not nice, obviously. Like, perfect mixture is to be humble, right? Well, he has that about him, you know? The Liverpool are basically practicing here how to press You see how they should move if they... And then they immediately attack. A lot of deep runs from the 8, right? Like they're practicing a lot of like how to use the 8s. Again there. Boom. This is a second pattern, but this is a very standard pattern of the 8 underlapping. And Chamberlain is not playing as an 8, he's playing as a winger. That's also interesting. Because I think he was more used as a like hybrid midfield, hybrid right midfielder, 8 midfielder, right midfielder in defensive shape, 8 in attacking situations with Salah. But here he just looks to play a winger. I'm not sure it's because of the just to have the space, you know, so they have a winger, or it's because he's going to be seen as a winger. I don't think he's going to play as a winger. So they're just throwing a long ball. So this is like when one of the mid teams, or like actually one of the top teams, are clearing a ball. How do they want to attack? Look how much they play with speed in this clip. There's like no circulation. It's just immediately play with speed. What a goal from Diaz. Now they're changing, and I think that another team is going to do this now.
Young kids coming through on the ball. You might see him turn around now, look.
Ah, yeah, now we're seeing the same thing. Let me see here again.
The mobility.
Why are they doing commentary suddenly?
I was watching Jurgen talk to the players before when he got them all together. It'd be easier for a lot of these players to let complacency come into play. You know, they've won everything at the top of the game. It would be easy just to switch off. They don't let him switch off. I mean, Pep there was setting up. The attention to detail was the way he was moving players around, the way he was setting players up, losing the ball. I mean, we're watching him now.
Now they're circulating, right?
As well.
And then that pass came from a...
It's fascinating to see, isn't it?
Look, they're just circulating now.
Look at them talking all the time. See Jurgen pointing to where the ball's nowhere near where he's pointing. You might see him turn around now, look.
Ah, but that's such a nice combination. I hope actually we see these combinations between the 8. Look, this is Carvalho and Thiago.
A little bit of flair on those plays.
It's fun, like they do this. Liverpool combination football is so, it's much more natural in these settings
We've seen that he's been
than what we are seeing from a Pep and Arteta training video.
In the first 11 that we saw in the first part, now is another totally different 11. So
right, like we're seeing much more.
Tomorrow we're gonna see a little bit. Three totally
we're seeing much more. It's so fun because Liverpool way of playing like these things are much more
11s, and they are working exactly the same thing.
Doing all those dummies, you know, heel flicks and stuff like this. You also see it in the game.
He was playing.
I see these things in game too. That's why I find it so interesting that this is actually how they practice.
Didn't he? Did you do shape with a lot?
That's immediately a counter press. So he's playing it on purpose. The centre back is purposely playing on it to a Liverpool player here to do the counter press, right? This is what when they get the ball, immediately go for attack.
Rafa had attention to detail, didn't he? Did you do shape with a lot of shape with him?
Exactly.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah, exactly, Capo.
Before when they start this kind of
they're celebrating all
doesn't start from the middle of the park. They start from here, from outside the box. Pep having the ball, and he's making the intention is gonna send a long ball. So every single one of the defenders have to be on their toes, trying to be very well shaped and looking at the ball, but also ready to run back. And that remind me of what Rafa Benitez used to do. We used to play like this on the warm-ups. We used to have the ball in the middle. Used to start moving around for.
What is Carvalho doing there?
We used to play like this on the warm
Where's Diaz? Oh, who was playing as a winger?
ups, we used to have the
Carvalho was the winger. Yeah, okay, Carvalho is the winger. Because Keita is the other 8.
ball in the middle, used to start moving around for.
See, then they suddenly just pace up.
And
There's just chill circulation, and then
used to do. We used
boom.
to play like this on the warm-up.
Then Fabio Carvalho
We used to
sets the
have
speed
ball
up with
in the
one
middle,
touch.
Used to start moving around
Everything is
for,
one touch here.
allowing the players to move. Where are the positions where they have to be when
Salah.
the ball is not in your position, like that. Exactly like that. What you have to do when you see the ball, everybody goes to play. Have a look, 2, 4, 6, 8 players around the ball. And those kind of moments remind me a little bit of what Rafa was doing back then. All those kind of detail, every single.
And then
detail is
again, they're doing the
important
counter
because
press.
That is what it makes the difference between being the first one or the second one.
It's become a bit of a trade.
No,
now,
Chris.
that press.
Not at all.
I think in the book, we
Starting line for being.
But you notice, guys, this is also the 3 teams. They have 3 bibs, like 3 different color bibs, and those are the 3 teams they use in the preseason games too. That's why the 3 teams got 30 minutes each.
Thiago, and then maybe a new look front 3, or certainly the options to be with Darwin Núñez in there and Carvalho on this left-hand side.
Yeah, exactly. You got some.
And now the pressing.
And we are lucky that we're gonna have the chance of seeing so many different one of them in the next coming weeks, because I'm sure that he's gonna try to mix them to see how they adapt one to each other, to see different partnerships. It's very important. Yeah, they are playing 3 at the front, but it's very difficult that they combine in between them. You can see Salah as a center forward at the
What a
moment.
goal.
So there are many to understand.
Okay, I think we'll get an idea of what Liverpool are doing here. Are they doing anything else, or is it just going to be a rotation now?
Saying to him there, as soon as the ball comes into me, you press. They'll all be behind you. Don't worry about that. You got to trust that. And
Okay, now they're
it is a trust
actually
thing, you know, we won't
now
want to
they're
do it at first
coaching how
because
to
that's
press,
not how
right?
Benfica did it, and he'd be thinking, oh, do I go? Do I not go? Do I stay? Am I in the right position? And Pep's just drilling it into him.
It's very important that he understands the trigger. He doesn't. I think Pep is telling him, listen, when the ball goes to the other center back, that's the trigger for you to start pressing. You cut the line, and then you're gonna have one pressing, and behind you, just what Jason is saying, every
It's
single
just
one
it's
of
just
them
very loose the
are
way
gonna
they
follow
are
you, but
training,
you're
right?
gonna understand. You're gonna read.
It's like
when
they
is
just.
the moment, exactly the moment that you have to start
I don't know. I
pressing.
can't hear it from
At
the
end, it's very
coaches, but it
easy. If
doesn't
there's only
feel
one
like
player
it's
coming to
very
press, it's gonna be easy for the
organized.
defenders to pass him through. So the moment of that trigger is.
You're going into a style that is very specific, and this is how we want you to play.
This is actually enjoyable because you're actually doing disguised running with a football. Like, there's nothing worse than running around a pitch. It's just monotonous. It's tiring. It's your mind's all over the place.
Boys, we are hitting
Here,
1,200
it's
and
very intense. But they got the ball
Fouls,
out. They're
that's
scoring
decent.
goals, aren't they? And like
Finishing,
it's a finishing, crossing and
Slowly but
finishing. It's
surely.
like that's what you want. We used to call it disguised running. They just got us running here with a ball.
okay, this was actually a good video. I think Barca and Liverpool showed us some nice things.
I don't put Chris.
It'll be interesting to see how much we're going to see it in the games. It's all about getting that implementation into the games, right? Núñez not looking good. Okay, that was Liverpool.